Hey, welcome back. We did this for 4.5 and we're doing it for 5.0. The feedback was great last time, so here we go. No yappuccino, just straight to business. What you have in front of you is the tier list structure breakdown. So first we have Might Guy tier, some of the absolute best units, those declared the strongest. We have that followed by Meta DPS units, so some of the best damage dealers in the game. We have off meta DPS, strong but situational units. Then we have meta support and off meta support. Same kind of role that it fills. One versus must have supports that can fill into any role, and then some off meta supports you swap in anyway. We have the shelf, some units that you reach for and dust off sometimes if you really need to use them. And then we have the garage. So units that have been currently weak or unoptimized or been phased out, but may have some future potential. And then we have the collectible section. That'll consist of your useless trophy units. One ground rule for me, I know that a lot of folks come into these tier lists and they're asking, who do I roll on? Who do I spend my money on? Who do I spend my hard-earned time on? After farming all these rerolls, who do I roll for? So there will be a reroll symbol next to the units that I highly recommend that you use your rerolls for. Everything else is up to you. If you have those units already, then by all means roll on these other units that have some symbols on them. That is completely your choice, no order of preference, but the actual reroll symbols are the only ones that I recommend that you reroll on. So as a content creator, I'd feel bad if at some point you're just rolling on something that just becomes utterly useless anyway in the future. Alright, this is the collectible section. There's probably a few more collectibles, but these are important, so we'll jump to the next one. This is the garage, just units that have been completely phased out and are pointless at the moment to play around with. So mostly gonna consist of those Dandadan units and unfortunately some units previously on the shelf. Which that brings us to. Yep, shelf is empty for now. Let's go next. This is the off meta support. Right now, the only one I could see moving up is probably Sasuke off to meta support. Kisuke is definitely phased out. He's your poor man's Alucard, especially now that the wounded affix is temporary on enemies. So Gohan is very fun to use. Basically, he's a quick starter unit. You can play something like Lag Shooter for 100 yen and get a free Gohan. So pretty fun little tech. Playing Gogeta and then playing Gohan immediately, like he just follows up, is pretty satisfying. Mr. Satan and Fat Boo, right? Very good, strong support units. Whether you're using them for the buff or you're using them for the money scaling that they can provide your farm units, very good either way. This is something that can fit on any team. So pretty comfortably now, we've moved Uryu up from off meta support to meta support. I think the update has kind of shined a new light on Uryu, especially him being essentially immune to the whole enemy drain situation where his damage won't get lowered. You don't really upgrade this unit, you kind of use him as a starter to help ramp up, similar to how we're playing around with Gohan. And what everyone has been looking at is Vegito. Vegito is a meta unit. He's extremely meta as a meta support unit. His ability to slow in a full AoE as well as stun in a full AoE is just phenomenal. Very cheap cost placement too. He's not great otherwise. Not a huge fan of everything else in his kit in terms of how he can get played into 15-round game modes. Maybe for infinite mode if you're looking for that, but even in infinite, his scaling doesn't seem to be as great. You're really just bringing him for rupture. That's really what he's only going to be good for infinite. So either way, he makes a great support unit. Alright, and for off meta DPS, really the only change here is probably going to be removing Dave and throwing Dave on the shelf. Potential that we move Choi up to meta DPS for infinite specific. I know he was used quite a lot last season. We'll see if he gets any play this season. Aside from that, not much on this. We'll continue on. Yeah, so this is what everyone's interested in. Who are the new great units in this update? Well, as of right now, we got Dante, Virgil, and we have Boo. So the reason Dante is before everyone else is as a Deadeye unit, he's very powerful, very reliable, very high DPS type unit. So his ability to get those combos off and maintain that high DPS is very, very consistent. So I would rather play into the consistency for a lot of game modes. The fact that Deadeye is one of his best traits, Monarch being the other one, just far less consistent, more RNG based, just means that it's easier to roll on getting Deadeye, ideally. So after that we have Virgil. Virgil is definitely one of the highest DPS units in the game. Quite an amazing kit, very awesome spark unit to have. It's nice to see a spark unit getting up there. His ability to combo and synergize with a lot of the stuns, slows, and time stops is really what makes the unit phenomenal. On top of his kit just continuing to combo off of CC Lockout. So if you use a crowd control ability and they've been recently stunned, there's no sort of immediate follow-up. So there's a small window of lockout. Well, he can attack in between then. So that gives him a bit more of a larger window to continue comboing off. Yeah, and so right after Virgil, we have Boo. So Boo is really only good as a Monarch unit, especially now that they did the tweak to him where he no longer gets, I believe it's candy stacks on takedowns. It has to be kills. So similar to Yamamoto, he does need the kill. Don't forget there are different ways you can still get the stacks you're looking for if you're playing into Jinwoo or Gazelle. So there's still ways to activate this unit and get him online. Like I said, he's a very powerful DPS unit. He is more of a, I would say, starter type unit into mid-game scaling, kind of stabilize. But he's not your win condition unit. I don't see him as a win condition unit on any map. Getting him to the tier where he can support Gogeta or, you know, potentially playing Kid Buu early and getting that advantage would be far more helpful. Yeah, so the reason this is called Might Guy tier, it's reminiscent of when Madara declares Might Guy the strongest of them all. So in this game right now, we have 3 that at least I'm calling the strongest of them all, and the 3 that I currently feel comfortable recommending to my viewers or anyone who is interested in listening to who do I roll on. These are the only 3 I feel very comfortable and confident recommending in the current meta and state of the game. I say this because units are very subject to getting tweaked, adjusted, buffed, debuffed, patched. So as of right now, for this initial tier list, Sung Jin Woo and Igros, both just fantastic as either Deadeye or Monarch. Very powerful unit, extremely versatile. His unknown status makes him very strong in Infinite Tsukuyomi. A lot of other maps and Worldline tiers just make him very powerful. He's a meta tournament unit. I mean, he's used quite literally in everything to the point where it's boring. However, he's just extremely powerful, very versatile. We have Yuhaba up here as well. A lot of folks are skeptical of this pick because they don't understand it or don't know how to use it. I promise you, once you've used this unit a lot more, you realize he fits on just any team. You do not need a bunch of rare units on your team. You can if you want to. Playing Yuhaba with 4 Uryu placement, using something like John Tech, where you're placing 6 Johns with Padarus, you're playing Jinwoo. You could play whatever you want with this unit. He's just very versatile, very cheap, great for stabilizing, maintaining control. There's some bosses he's able to destroy no problem, but he's still not my win condition unit for a lot of maps. He's really there just to stabilize and maintain control over all the mobs. Right, and lastly, on the 3rd number right here, we have Gogeta. The reason he's number 3 has to do with his accessibility. He's a unit that if you have, by all means, roll on him, get him. They're keeping Vanguards in check, so they're making sure they're going to keep him nice and strong for everybody. It's not something that will phase out or go away. From my understanding and from what they've done to Diavolo, it's nice to see that even if Gogeta did get crept on hard enough, he'd still get that power boost. Especially now in this update with all the DBZ support. He's a very strong unit, very good at Vanguard, worth rolling on. Get him if you can. He's going to be going away, most likely whenever they change out the banner, either next update or the update after. So grab Gogeta if you haven't gotten him already. Roll on him if you can. The grind is terrible, absolutely understandable. It took me a month to get him. It'll be worth it though if you do enjoy the game and continue playing or want to invest your time in it. So definitely reach for Gogeta if you can. Lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up one of the most interesting units in the game, Lag Shooter. Lag Shooter is also in Might Guy tier. He is quite literally one of the strongest units in the game. And I say strong because not only can you play this unit, but it breaks your game. It breaks your game. Yep, that's what Lag Shooter does. He breaks your game. So don't roll on this unit. Use him for fun. Check to see how badly your game can break. Enjoy it. Have some fun with it. That's what it's all about. Yeah, so this is my initial tier list covering 5.0, just the state of the game and how it is. I'll be sure to post the entire stream link for the full talk through, breakdown, testing of some of these units live stream in the description link down below. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video. I'll see you in the next one.